on track, working around the clock to deliver this nation-shaping legislation for the American people as soon as possible. Look, all 11 of our committees have wrapped up their work, and they spent less and saved more than even we projected initially. This really is once-in-a-generation opportunity that we have here. We're ensuring that programs like Medicaid and SNAP are strengthened for the U.S. citizens who need and deserve them, and not being squandered away by illegal aliens and persons who are ineligible to receive them and are cheating the system. And look, the tax cuts, look, is critical. We're going to make the 2017 tax cuts permanent.
Exactly. It is critical. It is critical. That's why the rich sent them to Washington. That's why corporations gave them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. It's critical. He said, honestly, if I don't deliver for this, then why would they give us money next time? I do disagree with him, though, about this being a once in a generation lifetime to do blah, blah, blah. No, it's a once in a Republican presidency opportunity, because this is what they do every time they get elected. And if in 4 more years or 8 more years or 12 more years they get elected again, they will do the exact same thing. The corporate tax rate will go down to 7% or 2.1%. They'll find $5 trillion more to throw at the wealthy, because there is no mountain of cash these ghouls can compile that will ever satisfy or fill the gigantic gaping cosmic void in their chest, where, I don't know, decency, rationality, compassion should exist, but instead it's just a suck that you just put cash into more and more and more, and I need another mega yacht. And so, yeah, they're taking this opportunity for that. They'll do it again, as they did with George W. Bush and as they did with Trump the first time, and now even more so. And screw the deficit, screw the national debt, screw your kids, screw your grandkids, screw future generations. We need our money. We need to pay him back. He needs his money because he'll get tax cuts off of this, but much more importantly, the far wealthier people who sent him to Washington, who bought and packaged Donald Trump and put him back in the White House, they need to be paid. And they will be, which is why last week I said, don't get too optimistic about these holdouts on the big beautiful bill. This is the one thing they came to do. And sure, there's still that outside chance that it could fail. But what do you know? They're papering over their disagreements to accomplish what they need to do, which is handing trillions to the wealthiest people around, because they got past that hurdle late Sunday night that they had experienced a few days earlier. All those Republicans that were like, no, we need to cut even more, screw more people. They're gonna get what they want. Ralph Norman, one of those, he said he got commitments to what he needs. The promises include speeding up enforcement of several policies in the bill, including Medicaid work requirements, so that we can get to those 9 to 14 million people being thrown off Medicaid even faster now. Nixing green energy tax perks, because we got to boil this planet alive as fast as possible, make it uninhabitable, and revoking Medicaid benefits from undocumented immigrants. It's a great cover story. Again, they're not getting $900 billion in cuts from undocumented migrants on Medicaid. It just doesn't exist. And so a whole bunch of them voted present. They didn't vote for it because they're renegades. I'm not voting for it. I'm just allowing it to happen. That's what it's the same thing. It's the same thing. You could have stopped it, you didn't. Thus, you helped it. That's how logic works. And so anyway, they're super excited. Trump is super excited. Congratulations, Republicans, make America great again. I won't, it'll bankrupt us. And it'll make the lives of millions of his own voters even more unbearably difficult than they are right now. That said, some challenges still remain. Senate Republicans want to break it up into bite-sized pieces, and some of them are like Hawley's, like the cuts are too extreme. The cuts are too extreme. And so feel free to hold your breath for them to save us all from this. I'm holding nothing, okay? They're gonna find a way to make it happen, okay? There's $5 trillion on the line that'll go to Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. They expect to be paid. JR, what do you think?
So we talked about Joe Biden and his health issues and why there's a big cover up and his issue with politics and this and that, and the postmortem of the last election. So, okay, Joe Biden's not here. So we still have Democrats that are supposed to be talking, right? And I'm sure some are, because this is what I've seen. But why isn't this a direct indictment of what it is that they want to do? Mike Johnson said himself, you're not putting words in his mouth. He wants to make the 27 tax cuts permanent. Just point out what the 2017 tax cuts did. They overwhelmingly benefited the rich and corporations by large margins. There's articles on it, there's analysis on it. Hey, how about we point those things out? It's not as hard as people make it. They're like, well, how do we figure this out? I mean, the old guy that had this cognitive decline and now has a cancer diagnosis destroyed everything. But now we don't know how to point out that it was skewed towards the rich. I'm reading right now, it's very easy. I think most people that are in these positions of power can do these types of things. Households with incomes in the top 1% will receive, this is in 2017 tax cuts, an average tax cut of more than $60,000 in 2025, as they're trying to do right now, compared to an average tax cut of less than $500 measly dollars for households in the bottom 60%. There's more. It was expensive and it eroded the US revenue base. It's gonna put trillions of dollars onto the deficit. Crazy how that works. Also, it failed to deliver on these promised economic benefits, as they're rating Medicare and saying, all these lazy people that are 27 years old who don't deserve to have any Medicare. What it is that they're doing is they're gonna now be forced to pay, and even more so, continue to rate everything else that's happened. How quickly have we forgotten that Elon Musk was put in a position of rating and getting your info on your social security, your tax information, every aspect of your life, kicking people out of their jobs, veterans, benefits, suicide hotlines, cancer research for children. Since we're talking about cancer, they did all this so they could give these folks more money and make the 27 tax cuts permanent. So if you want to fight back against them saying this, point out Mike Johnson wants to do right now what happened in 2017. And what happened in 2017 is they gave you a whole bunch of middle fingers, and then you accepted it and thought that you had some kind of benefit from the tax cuts. So they're gonna do the same thing again, except they're rating more to get it, because the money they already took has already been spent on their yachts. So are you ready to do it again? Just ask him the question. Are you ready to get screwed again? Because Mike Johnson just said, I want to screw you again.
There's your campaign slogan, by the way. Make America get screwed again. Yeah, and I love that, like, we're not gonna get the benefits they say this time. We didn't get it under Trump. We didn't get it under W. We didn't get it under Ray. Like, it's amazing that they can just keep telling the exact same lies for the exact same motivation, and it never works, but it never matters.
Ever.
That's fun.
You know what else they could do? They could say, listen, you know how COVID killed hundreds of thousands of people? I want to do that again. That's the same thing they're doing right now. Remember in 2020, COVID killed all those folks and you had masks and everything, and schools were all disrupted and all these kids had their issues? Yeah. Let's do that again. Let's run it back.
If there is a public health crisis, they will 100% do and say the exact same things. They don't even believe those people died. Like, you have a gigantic mountain, a Mount Everest of bodies. They just don't accept it because it would be uncomfortable too. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog that is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?